Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone and most of all by her grandmother. There was nothing that she would not have given to the young girl. One day, she gave her a little riding hood of red velvet, which suited her well. She chose to never wear anything else, so she was nicknamed Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her grandmother said to her, "Take this basket of goodies to your grandmother's cottage, but don't talk to strangers on the way." Promising not to, Little Red Riding Hood skipped off into the woods where her grandmother lived. On her way, she met the big bad wolf, who asked, "Where are you going, little girl?" "To my grandmother's, because she is ill," Little Red Riding Hood replied. As Little Red Riding Hood continued on her way to her grandmother's house, she saw some beautiful flowers. She decided her grandmother would love some pretty fresh flowers, so she left the path and went into the woods to pick some. Meanwhile, the wolf sprinted to the grandmother's house. Once inside, the big bad wolf locked grandmother into the broom cupboard and dressed himself in her clothes. Little Red Riding Hood, however, had been rushing about picking flowers when she met the woodsman. He told her to hurry on her way to her grandmother's house, as he was hunting a big bad wolf who was terrifying the village. Little Red Riding Hood ran off to her grandmother's house. She was surprised to find the cottage door open, and when she went into the room, she had an uncomfortable feeling. She called out, "Good morning," but received no answer. She tiptoed into the bedroom and drew back the curtains. There lay her grandmother, with her cap pulled far over her face and looking very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have!" "All the better to hear you with, my child," was the reply. "But grandmother, what big eyes you have," she said. "All the better to see you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what large hands you have." "All the better to hug you with." "Oh, but grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have." "All the better to eat you with," growled the wolf, and he pounced on her. Little Red Riding Hood screamed, and the woodcutter in the forest came running to the cottage. The woodcutter crept up on the wolf. With his axe raised above his head, he yelled at the wolf, "If you ever come back here, I'll chop you up just like I do with the trees." Well, the wolf got quite a fright, and he ran away whimpering. The woodcutter and Little Red Riding Hood rescued grandmother from the cupboard where the big bad wolf had locked her. Grandmother hugged Little Red Riding Hood with joy. Little Red Riding Hood promised never to speak to strangers again.